The final upload on an abandoned channel is rarely a planned exit. Usually, the public stop is just the formal conclusion to an internal withdrawal. The creator is still in the arena, but they are no longer participating. The internet is littered with these digital ghosts. Most of them were made by people with high technical skill and clear talent. They didn't run out of ideas. They reached a point where they could no longer carry the emotional burden that comes with public creation. We are poor forecasters of our future selves. We can imagine a goal and the status that comes with it, but we struggle to account for the daily, grinding stress of a competitive pursuit. We see the finish line, not the erosion of the mind that happens along the way. Distribution is now frictionless. Anyone can publish. But this accessibility removed the insulation between a creator's self-worth and the immediate judgment of the world. It made psychological vulnerability a requirement of the job. At first, the interaction is a gift. You post a piece of work, and for the first time, you receive a direct hit of validation from strangers. It feels like evidence that you finally matter. This chart tracks the frequency of social validation. For most of human history, the line is flat. Then digital platforms introduce a spike that our biology never prepared us for. These are supernormal stimuli, concentrated hits of praise that skew our expectations of what a normal day should feel like. This attention activates our innate grandiosity. Technology gives us the impression we can possess the fame of kings, spreading a grandiosity virus. A realistic sense of self fades. The creator overreaches, driven by a hunger for social prestige. The baseline has moved. Making art for its own sake starts to feel insufficient. Every project becomes a high-stakes gamble on whether the metrics will provide the next hit of validation for the creator. Eventually, the focus drifts. You stop looking at the canvas and start looking at the crowd. The goal is no longer to make something good, but to manufacture a specific reaction from the audience. This leads to hyper-intention. As outlined in the source, the most pleasurable outcomes in life are often those we don't directly intend. When we desperately need to find a partner or give a perfect talk, the anxiety of that need ruins the performance. You can see the symptoms in the daily routine. The creator stares at real-time analytics instead of their script. They delete work that doesn't immediately pop. They spend hours scrolling through the work of others, looking for a secret formula to guarantee a result. They call this perfectionism, but it is actually a defensive crouch. It is a desperate attempt to control how people perceive them, shielding themselves from the pain of a failed post. By trying to manage the unmanageable reactions of millions of people, the creator effectively silences their own voice. While you are stuck, your peers seem to be moving forward. This triggers a generalized feeling of dissatisfaction. As this passage notes, we all compare ourselves with those who are superior in areas we esteem. We react with envy, a pang of wanting the same thing, followed by a vague hostility toward the person who has it. In this environment, the creative community stops feeling like a shared space and starts feeling like a zero-sum game. Every time a peer succeeds, it feels like they are siphoning off the attention that belonged to you. This leads to reactance. Psychologists use this term to describe the resentment we feel when we lose control over our choices. When you are forced to create on a schedule dictated by an algorithm, the work you once loved starts to feel like a prison. The dream job has become a source of chronic stress. You are doing what you love, but on a schedule you can't control. The passion is replaced by a sense of being a cog in a machine that demands constant, predictable output. This is the breaking point. The creator doesn't make a grand announcement. They just stop. They can no longer bridge the gap between their original passion and their new, unmanageable obligations. The incentive structures of these platforms prioritize engagement above the stability of the people providing it. It is a system that rewards the work while often exhausting the person. Surviving this requires a difficult return to honesty. You have to admit that you wanted to feel important and that you've been chasing validation. You have to face the fact that your ego has become too brittle to handle the reality of the arena. The only way out is to change the loop. On the left, the fragile path ties self-worth to fluctuating metrics. On the right, focus shifts to identity. The action doesn't trigger a number, it reinforces who you are. This is the shift from "I need views" to "I am a person who builds things." When the identity itself becomes the reinforcer, you need less outside encouragement to follow through. The habit sustains itself because it feels good to be you, regardless of the applause. This is what the author calls cultivating the inner authority. As shown here, you must stop listening to the opinions of others and instead judge things for yourself. You adhere to your own standards and your own sense of purpose. By stripping away the desperate need for external validation, you insulate yourself from the internet's volatility. You are no longer a victim of the algorithm. You are a practitioner of a craft. Now you begin a dialogue with reality. Moving from imagination to execution, you search for feedback from respected peers, focusing on flaws. By cycling through this process endlessly, confidence rises based on your visible, increasing skill level. Paradoxically, this is when an audience usually finds you. People sense the difference between a creator begging for attention and one who is calmly focused on the quality of their work. Vulnerable resilience is more compelling than over-edited perfection. The desk remains the same, the computer remains the same, but the noise of the crowd is gone. The creator is working in the dark, and for the first time, that is enough. Success in any creative field is a matter of emotional endurance. The world eventually rewards those who learn how to survive their own minds.